Alright, so you know, if you are supposed to ping from the 2 network to the 1 network, we would know that it would not be a successful ping, because if you go to the router 2 routing table, show IP route, right? And before I even show IP route, let me show a running config. Alright, and you will see in the running config file that we have IP addresses being shown here. Router 2 configuration. Let me just show an IP route. Alright, so we're seeing directly connected networks, right, to the 10 network. We're also seeing 2, 3, and 4 that is directly connected in the routing table of router 2. Right? I should not have shown that running configuration as yet until I implement RIP. If I was to go to the show IP route in router 1, you see that it is subnetted 3 by 3 subnets, and we see in the 0 network, 64 network, and the 128 network. Right? Now I'm heading back now to router 2, and I'm going to enable RIP. So I'm going to go to conf t, and I'm going to type router RIP right, and what I'm going to do now is to type the networks so it could share its routing information by its neighboring network. So I'm going to type the network, which is the network is here. The first network is 10.0.0.0. The second network 192.168.2.0, and I see I'm not passing any net master, so you'll see some issues here could develop with RIP one time now. I'm going to type the network 3.0 and as well type the network 4.0. Alright, copy run start, and if now I could show my running config. So I'm going to show running, run for short, and we will see in my running configuration file that from using the RIP router, we see in networks 10.0 network, the 2 network is inside here, the 3 network is also there, and the 4 network. Let's do the same thing now for router 1. Right? So I'm going to go to conf t, and I'm going to use router RIP. Right? And I'm going to type the networks. First network is the 10.0.0.0 network. The second network is 192.168.1.0. The other network is 64, which this doesn't make any sense what I'm doing here, because they're not even passing net information, subnet, net mask information here. But I'm going to do it just for the sake of this tutorial, and we will see how RIP auto summarizes networks too as well. Right? And I am going to type exit again, and I'm going to save my running config. And if I was to show a running config file, show run, we would see that RIP has auto summarized this network 192.168.1.0. Alright, let's take a look at this routing table. Right, show IP route. We will see in its routing table that RIP has a direct connected part to, because the routers now sharing information. Let's look at the RIP part here with an administrative distance of 120 of 2, 3, and 4 networks, and we see the administrative distance to the directly connected networks as 0. Right? If we were to go to router 2 and we were to show a IP route, its routing table, you'll see that router RIP only have 1 entry, right, to the 1 network. It didn't identify the subnetted networks, right? And we could see that they could have some problems here as well, right? So if we were to send a packet from this PC to this PC, it will be successful on the second attempt. Right? You've seen it successful. It has been easily configured. In our next tutorial, you'll see where RIP version 1 has been outdated and could pose a serious problem. This is the 1 network here, and it auto summarizes the 1 network, so it doesn't really treat with subnet mask information here. And these networks here are like 2, 3, and 4, which is classless. So RIP version 1 really treats well with classless, but not variable length.